mild spoilers for Fullmetal Alchemist 2003. I will put timestamps in those show notes. Hey everybody, we have fun here. I'm Jay.
Now I'm Luke.
Today we're having fun watching My Hero Academia Season 6, Episodes 13 and 14, Final Performance, and Hellish Hell.
This batch was interesting because I feel like simultaneously a lot happened and then nothing happened.
Well, so I was wondering what they were going to do about the situation where we can't really have a low effort filler episode because we can't just cut away and say, hey, here's a non-canonical adventure.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So instead they went with a recap episode, essentially, but even then, not the entire episode, and we got a little bit of new information. We got the fact that from the perspective of what the public now knows about what happened.
Yeah.
So
things also got just like ridiculously darker.
Yes, everything is darker now in this, it's the end of the second act of the story overall, it's the darkest hour.
Yeah, this is like, it got way darker than I even thought it could.
Yeah. Midnight's dead, a lot of people are dead.
Yeah, we were hanging out in like Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 vibes for a lot of these episodes.
Yeah. Well, and we even have a nice kind of angsty adjacent new OP.
Yeah. The new OP's interesting. Deku's got this like scarf thing on.
Yeah.
And I've started noticing, and I don't know how I feel about this. I've started seeing where it's like they're sort of teasing at some form of Deku where he puts the stupid hat on, and that's his like full power something.
That's an interesting prediction there.
It seems like either they said that subliminally, or I'm just picking up on some weird code, or I know they showed it.
Yeah.
I know they showed it.
Yeah, they did show that, yeah.
But I felt like they sort of showed it almost like it was weird. I don't know if maybe I had a hard time paying attention to the first episode, but they didn't show much of what happened after Shigaraki got up, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, because they essentially, he got up and they essentially made a tactical retreat,
Yeah, he gets up and revives and is all for one, basically. I guess maybe Shigaraki's consciousness is just knocked out or something. I don't really know.
Yeah, so he's kind of taken over at the moment, at least.
Yeah, but in the recap episode, I felt like they showed like a flash or two of Shigaraki and Deku fighting, and Deku was wearing the hood.
This seems to be like a false memory of yours. I don't think he wears the hood.
Well, it's either I saw it there or I saw it in the OP, maybe.
Yeah, so you see it twice in the OP. Once when there's like it's Deku facing head on, he's wearing the scarf and all that, and then they do kind of a half and half of his face.
Yeah.
And then they do like one moment of him like jumping, using Black Whip, and he's wearing the mask. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they're trying to introduce his final form as like Mr. Bunnyman or something. Which I don't love.
You don't love it?
I don't love that.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah. I also didn't love that they gave him Spidey senses.
Oh, I was about to say, they made him more Spider-Man than ever before, than you could ever imagine.
Can we just... The first one, they introduced the whips.
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess, if you really want Deku to be able to, like, swing around like Spider-Man, that's cool. I mean, you've basically made Spider-Man now. Anything more Spider-Man would probably be tipping the scales a little too far, and then bam!
Spidey senses. I promise, mostly because Spider-Man doesn't have any other powers, I promise none of the other powers are Spider-Man based.
Yeah, that's really only they really took everything from Spider-Man. The strength, the Spidey sense, and then the webs, it's like
Well, I mean, now are all superheroes kind of strong?
yeah. See,
So
the strength was thrown off, because, lots of super strong heroes, and All Might was styled after more of a
Superman.
Superman kind
Yeah.
of entity. So they didn't have the scent on it at the time.
And
But
then
when
Black Widow.
you put it in the context of a guy who also has, you know, whips that he swings from and an ability to detect danger, it becomes a little more obvious that that's just Spider-Man.
No, I love it. I'm into it.
It's just Spider-Man.
Uh-huh. Oh boy. No, it's great.
Okay. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so it's like the Bunny Man mask.
Uh-huh.
Like, is this another Spider-Man thing? It's like, oh, here's one last thing that is different between Deku and Spider-Man.
Is a Spider-Man wears
Spider-Man
a
wears
mask.
a mask, yeah. So we gotta put Deku in a mask now because otherwise it won't be as obvious that he is Spider-Man.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, when putting together the dots of Spider-Man Deku, I never went. Oh yeah, mask because Spider-Man. I went
Well,
more
it's
mask because superhero, but
sure. I mean, listen, again, all of these things are only these things in context, right?
Right,
It's
right, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he could have any one of these things going on, and I wouldn't be like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man."
You did with the Black Whip.
So the Black Whip was a little more obvious, and especially in the context that I saw it in the movie,
Yeah, with
he
him
was
swinging
swinging
around.
around. He was
Yeah.
being Spider-Man.
Yes.
And yes, so at the time I was saying he's just Spider-Man as like a joke. Like, okay, he's swinging around, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna make the joke that they've just created Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and that'll be funny because they haven't just created Spider-Man. Deku still has his own, like, character traits and whatnot, and he doesn't have that many of Spider-Man's abilities, so it's like it's still in the realm of absurdity to kind of gesture towards him actually being Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
But now we're really crossing that threshold, I feel. We're really crossing the threshold into wait, no, this is just Spider-Man. It's not a joke anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and what better love letter to Spider-Man than this?
Than to just recreate him.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I guess so. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I mean, well, we haven't had like an Uncle Ben moment with him or anything, or they're
well,
not
his
entirely
dad's
jacking Spider-Man
listen,
here.
his dad's not in the picture, so you best believe we'll at some point gets they're gonna have an episode where it turns out that the reason Deku wanted to be a hero so bad is because back in the day he was trying to moonlight as a wrestler, and his dad was like driving the car to come pick him up or whatever, and his dad got carjacked and he was killed.
At least we know that that's not gonna be true. Like,
Listen, I don't know anymore.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know
because
anymore.
Deku's wanted to be a hero since he was like 4. He was not moonlighting as a wrestler.
Yeah, but I mean,
And Deku's got
everyone
all
knows
his
that.
cards on the table and all his little monologues. He would have brought up his dad if he actually cared
Yeah,
about his dad.
well, he hasn't brought up his dad, so it's like, what's
Yeah,
up with that?
because his dad's like overseas and he hasn't seen him in like however many years.
I don't know, man.
He's not a big part of his life.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Or he's all for one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy the direction the show's going and everything, but it is really funny that we've taken every power that Spider-Man has and given it to Deku.
Yeah, why
It's a
not,
little
man?
like I guess my only solace is that Deku's not doing like wisecracks. Like I
Yeah,
get,
because he's just not that kind of hero.
yeah,
He's never
it's
been.
like that's the only thing that's safe for Spider-Man now, I guess, is the personality,
Oh yeah.
which I guess we've established in movies like Spider-Verse and whatnot that Spider-Man's personality is not what maketh Spider-Man, at least in the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's it's the webs, the strength, and the ability to sense danger. So,
And a dead relative.
and a dead relative, sure,
Yeah.
which Deku could still have.
Yeah. Yeah,
We still
Deku
don't
could
know.
still have. He's still got a mom.
Well, we don't know what happened to his dad, so
Yeah.
could still have
Yeah.
a dead dad.
Well, again, I think his dad's alive. I just don't think he's in the picture.
Sure. Well,
Yeah. And this is just me predicting here. We don't have an answer on Deku's dad at the moment, currently, as of chapter 401.
right.
Yeah.
And that's because they're getting ready for the reveal where he got carjacked.
You know, I don't know. Deku is just not all that vengeful, is the thing.
Sure.
And it's never been about that.
Yeah. That's
And
fair.
you don't. Wouldn't you think he would like say that to All Might in the offering of the power? Like, yes, I can
Maybe he
finally get
doesn't
some
know.
vengeance.
Maybe he doesn't know.
Okay, so he finds that out, and then suddenly Deku's just like, "Man, I love revenge. I'm gonna go get some of
No, I
that.
mean,
I'm capable."
you don't have to take on that aspect, especially because like Spider-Man, one of the interesting things about the Spider-Man story is that like he gets revenge, and in most iterations he gets revenge on the guy who killed his dad or killed Ben, Uncle
Uh-huh.
Ben. Or I don't even know if that's in most iterations. I feel like there's ones where he doesn't. But anyway, one of the things I liked about the Raimi Spider-Man was that he got revenge pretty quickly, and then realized that he wasn't really a vengeful person. Revenge wasn't really
Yeah.
the motivator for him.
Oh, sure.
It's not that we need revenge here. It's just that we need another really on the nose comparison between Deku and Spider-Man. That's what we need, obviously.
Yeah, we obviously need more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they love it.
Horikoshi does love Spider-Man, is the thing. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess going back to the first episode of this, we do get some Mr. Compress backstory.
Yeah, that was another thing. Was that foreshadowed at all?
Mr. Compress? No, not really.
Okay.
Well, like he said, he's like, I've been a side character on purpose. I don't want people to know who I am.
That is fair. I just am noticing that we're kind of entering the My Hero Academia era of, this show's been going on for a while, so anytime we learn stuff about new characters or learn stuff about old characters, there has to be this kind of I've been secretly hiding this all along.
Sure, and yeah, he's just like, I wanted to keep my backstory secret until it was really dramatic to do so.
And that's totally fair, but we are just starting to hit some of those moments, right? Where it's
well, I think we're getting to like some payoffs is the thing.
Yeah. Well, payoff to me insinuates that there's been some setup.
Well, again, listening back to some of our episodes, you are often like, "Oh, I didn't notice that. I wasn't paying attention, apparently, to a lot of things." So I don't know if you're if you're the best example here of who is and is not paying attention.
That is fair, which is why I'm asking. I was asking you.
Oh, sure.
If there was setup for that,
right? No, other than his whole aesthetic being all like magician, phantom thief deal, for him to have a Robin Hood lineage.
Yeah. I thought the Dobby thing was a little more egregious on that.
Again, it was kind of hinted at and especially like in the OPs and stuff, and last ED with him like putting his hand on the Endeavor poster. Yeah. Like, it's there, and he'd been like calling him by like his full name and everything.
That's true. Yeah. You gotta be one of those nerds who watches OPs and EDs a bunch to.
Yeah, and it's called rewarding an audience for paying attention.
Yeah, fair enough.
And if you don't pay attention, then it's shocking and new.
Yeah.
So you were either vindicated or shocked to see that.
Yeah. I thought it was cool either way. I mean, I'm not trying to harp on it too much. I'm just kind of pointing out that it seems like we're setting up a precedent for villains and or heroes or just people we've had around for a while, just kind of introducing some things to shake up who they are in the story, maybe.
And I will say, you are correct in that instinct.
Yeah. As I always am.
Well, I'm saying, I'm saying because we are in the end game now. That's when things come out. That's when things shake up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cool with it, but I'm also gonna make fun of it a little bit.
Well, what do you want a story to do? Should people just sit around and do nothing?
Yeah, I want an anime about a person just running a farm.
Silver Spoon.
That's what I want to watch.
Yeah. That's a really good. Well, I don't know how the anime is, but I like the manga.
Yeah, we'll watch the anime. We'll get on this podcast every week and just go like, I really liked where he tilled the land a little bit.
I mean, obviously that's not what it's like actually like about.
Yeah.
I'd actually highly recommend it to anybody who is unsure of what they would like to do with their life in terms of like jobs and stuff. They have a lot of really good discussions about that and like debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever dub that?
No.
What the heck, man?
Well, everybody was like, boo-hoo, this isn't Fullmetal Alchemist, where's all the magic and fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't connect with a sincere story unless somebody's getting punched.
True. That sucks though. I mean, I wanna dub. Just because I'm addicted to good dubs at this point,
Yeah.
My friend I'm watching the Evangelion Rebuild series with is upset that I'm making him watch it as a dub.
Oh, he's a sub fan.
Yeah.
It's like on principle, like
I guess so.
Because like I kind of get it as in like, oh, this is the intended way to watch it, but I also am kind of like, I like being able to pay attention to the fights because I had a hard time with the One Piece Red movie because while that movie was dubbed, there's a lot of singing in the movie. It's almost a musical. It's hard to describe, but anytime there's a song, there's subtitles on the screen. It was a little hard for me to read the subtitles and watch the fights. But then, I mean, there did come a point where it's like, okay, I get the gist of what the song's about, so I guess I can now pay attention to the fight. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of
Yeah. It's some of that, and just like I don't mind reading captions or anything like that, but it's like my hard line has just always been that I'm not getting as much of the emotion of the performance when I'm hearing it in a language that is not my own.
Agreed.
And just because there's a lot about like inflection and stuff that is different for Japan versus America.
True. And I don't think that uh localization is necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Especially like with an anime like My Hero Academia. It's like there's so much Western influence in this thing.
Oh, a ton.
So it just kind of makes sense to hear it in English.
Oh, sure. Well, same thing with like Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Because like anytime a carrier is like holding like a piece of paper or something, it's all in English because it's supposed they're supposed to be diegetically speaking English.
Germany, you know, they're
quasi Europe.
Yeah, they were always destined for Germany.
Mild spoilers for Fullmetal Alchemist 2003. I will put timestamps in those show notes. I'm gonna keep that take. Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Let's do it.
No. But
yeah, even with all that going on, I was still like kind of surprised that the second episode we watched was so much of a recap, you know?
Yeah, again, they have to have a kind of I don't know how all this works, but it seems that most anime kind of have to have a less time consuming project within their 25 slots that they're doing or whatever. And so they decided to do a recap episode, at least half of it. Because you'll notice with some of the like filler episodes that there's like a lot of standing around and talking, and sometimes characters talking with their hands in front of their mouths, so you don't have to animate that either, you know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's time saver.
Yeah, it's a time saver, and so I'm guessing they were like, "All right, we got to put that on one of these episodes, and I guess it's gonna be this one. We'll recap what happened in this past arc."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was good. I mean, it was kind of nice to kind of consolidate everything that had happened into sort of one space.
Oh, sure. Hold on, just checking my notes to make sure I got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really seems like they're about to do something with Deku and his stupid hood.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this OP. I feel like they either feel like they could have showed this OP a little later. But I know it's also the second half of the season, and therefore they had to put it somewhere.
Well, yeah, because I'm imagining what you're saying is that he puts the hood on in a couple of episodes or something, and like they could have saved it for that.
Yeah, it's essentially.
I'm kind of thankful for the warning, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of thankful for that. They're like, hey, by the way, we did the right thing for as long as we could, and we had him put the hood on for 5 seconds at the beginning, and then had him take it off because the hood's stupid. But we're 6 seasons into this thing, and we're tired of doing the right thing. So the hood's going back on, boys.
I mean, but it's hanging off the back of him all the time, and you're kind of like, why don't you wear the? You designed this to have a cowl, and then you don't use it. And you have a mouth guard, and you don't use it.
Because it's stupid. They did that very purposefully.
Uh-huh.
You know? It was like the scene in Suicide Squad where they had Harley in the original Harley outfit for like 5 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
just so you could be like, "Oh yeah, that is dumb. We shouldn't."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the purpose. I thought that was the purpose of the hood, right? I thought I know what it's supposed to symbolize. It's supposed to look like All Might. The mouth guard's his smile, and the
Yeah.
hood's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
kind of imitation of his hair.
Yeah.
And I thought we might go in a direction with that where it's like, okay, so this is Deku. This is his kind of childish understanding of like what imitating All Might means, is like
Mm-hmm.
having the hair and having the smile, and just like superficial understanding of
Sure.
what it means to imitate and replicate All Might. And that as the show progressed, we might get um some growth in the sense of Deku understanding that he can sort of be his own hero
Mm-hmm.
in like the vein of All Might, still inspired by All Might, but he doesn't have to have the
Yeah.
hood, or maybe he can. I was hoping towards a progression towards like, okay, we can take this hood off because I don't need to have All Might's like hair thing going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't need to look like a weird bunny in order to.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the funny thing is, I think he's had a couple different opportunities to like say, "Hey, take the hood off. I don't need it." But
Yeah, he's had some redesigns and he kept the hood.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Which, at that point maybe you could just say like, okay, he's just aware of his roots, right?
yeah,
He's just trying to be like, even as my suit gets better, I'm going to keep these things because they come from a authentic place of when I was first wanting to be a hero and all that.
yeah.
And that's great. And that's great and everything, but like, he didn't have to keep the hood on.
Sure, yeah,
Could really could have just taken this. And for so long they've like just really. I take every episode since like episode 2 or 3 or whatever, when he like first had the hood on and then took it off. Or
uh-huh. Well, it's he had the hood in suit alpha, and he wore it like he was supposed to, and then Bakugo exploded him. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. And they have like the hood like ripping and everything,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. The half and
and then
half
like
deal.
after that happens, they keep the hood on, but then he never wears it again,
Yeah.
which was like optimal. That to me was an acknowledgement from the show and from the creator that this is stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
So why are we putting the hood back on?
Well, you'll see.
God, it's coming up in the next couple of episodes. I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah,
I
it is
knew
in
it.
the thumbnail. Yeah.
I don't want this to happen. He was looking so cool in this OP with his like.
Yeah.
I really like the scarf look.
Yeah, the scarf looks good on him. Yes.
The scarf looks cool. He's wandering through
He's
the.
haggard.
Yeah, he's haggard. He's been
Yeah.
through some stuff. It's
Yeah.
just like, let me put on my protective hood. You know,
Yeah. Why not?
I hate it.
I'm interested to see how they're animating it because I really like the illustrations of it in the manga.
You're not selling me on this.
I know. Well, I can't sell you taste. I mean,
Is that is this the aspect of the Deku figure?
hold on, look.
Okay,
Yeah. So, before I show this to you, I do.
okay,
I do acknowledge that I knew you were probably gonna hate it.
okay, okay.
I personally, I like it.
What
Look at that.
the heck, man?
Look at that.
So that's just like electricity coming off of him, or
Like blacklit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Let me send you like the like pictures
yeah. If there's
so you
like
can
a
get
better,
a good look at it. But yeah.
I love that. That's what you had to keep from spoiling me on.
Yeah.
So they put the stupid hood back on.
Yes. Let's see.
Oh my god, yeah. There's more of these with like the hood on. Why?
Oh, no, first of all, this is the panel that it's based off of.
Yeah, I'm seeing one from like Crunchyroll that has, and I guess they made it look a little badass.
Yeah. He's gone from Bugs Bunny to Frank from Donnie Darko.
Yeah, why? It's kind of weird, even that it's like so animalistic. You could have showed me this, and I would not have even known it was Deku.
Right.
It looks like he's got like claws. It's weird. Why are they doing this?
Because it's cool.
It's almost like,
I'm embracing my inner little edgelord on this one.
yeah, yeah, you like the edgelordness.
I do. And I guess to give you a small spoiler, this is a very temporary thing.
Okay.
He does not stay like this the rest of the series.
I'm glad.
This is for a very specific arc.
Okay. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I don't know. It's
You'll
like
get your boy back.
I would have voted for a different way to kind of mature him or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah, don't worry. This is temporary.
I guess like maybe are they trying to like nod towards, in some sense, like Nine Tails Naruto and stuff like that? These sort of like anime protagonists having these like animalistic transformations.
I don't know. That's a good I guess thread to connect.
Mhm.
But I'm trying to think. Does anybody else have like animalistic transformations other than Naruto?
I'm thinking about also, this doesn't count maybe as much, but like the Evangelion, the Evas going
Mm,
beast mode
sure,
in
yeah.
some of their scarier moments.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah, where they're like
yeah,
consuming human flesh and stuff.
yeah. Having teeth.
Yeah, teeth and
Yeah.
like, I was trying to remember because I watched the first rebuild last week, and
Uh huh.
in the first episode, is it as clear in the anime that the Ava has a human hand underneath its armor?
As in the show.
Yeah, as in the show.
I don't remember. For some reason, as much I say I like Evangelion, it
Uh-huh.
just does not like stick in my brain for some reason,
Huh.
and I don't know why. I need to
But
rewatch it.
it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I think in the show, the in that first battle, the arm does get messed up, but it's not, they don't make it so obvious that it's like a human hand hanging out in the mech.
Okay. Okay.
Because with the rebuild, they do that because ostensibly, if you're watching the rebuild,
Have seen the
you're
show.
aware that
Yeah.
there is some sort of like animalistic, fleshy aspect of the Avas.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean,
Interesting.
I can maybe live with this if it's a form, if it's like some weird.
Yeah.
I guess another good example of that would be Goku's Super Saiyan 4 transformation,
Oh yeah,
where
that's right. He gets all like monkey mode. Yeah.
yeah, he takes the, well, and I guess just in general in Dragon Ball, the transformation into the monkey
True.
is
Yeah.
kind of part of that anime trope of like the protagonist having this animalistic side that he can't control.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would even put Mob in there. You know, it's
Yeah, I'd
less
put Mob.
animalistic. It's less animalistic, but it is this like uncontrollable power like within a
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that's what we're talking about here, if that's gonna
Right,
be
right.
if Deku's gonna have some rage mode that kind of comes out in the wake of all this destruction.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting predictions here.
I love watching you admire how keyed in I am, you know. Just the minutia of storytelling, you know.
Yes, thank you, Luke. But no, these are some interesting dots to connect because, like, when I told you, I would love to have a mob figure of question mark percents.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the thing. I was thinking of something like this. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, this would be so. That would be so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if the show makes it a cool enough moment, I'll have some grace for it too, you know.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Cuz then like yeah, if you have some weird animalistic transformation sort of thing going on, it kind of makes sense to start bringing in all those elements.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't really thought of that, but that is it is a anime trope in my opinion to have like the animalistic transformation of the protagonist.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit. And then there's like they have some stuff like that in Demon Slayer a little bit,
Mhm.
and Chainsaw Man is not always a Chainsaw Man. He is usually just a dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's unique about the transformations we're kind of talking about, aside from like a Sailor Moon thing, where it's like we always transform into our battle gear for battle time.
Oh, true. We're,
Um,
we're talking about a very unique
these are
situation
these are
for
all
these
very
characters.
sporadic occurrences. Yeah, it's
True.
like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and it's only and then I guess like I think I'm not familiar with how Naruto ends with the demon, the nine tails and all that.
Uh huh.
Um, but I do know like the Super Saiyan 4 transformation of Goku is a is an example of the protagonist learning how to harness that power and
Ah,
incorporate it into a more stable mode.
I see. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know where Naruto ended up with
Yeah.
his nine tails.
I'm
Like if
assuming
he
by
made
the
peace with
end.
it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm assuming by the end he's maybe able to do some more nine tailsy things by
Right.
without going into like rage mode or the avatar state or whatever you want to
Right.
call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's
Oh,
another
sure.
example. Avatar state.
There's state. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the avatar state, he turns into that big water monster thing.
Yes.
So there's an
Very.
yep,
Yeah.
tying it in. I'm tying it all
Tying
together.
it in.
I'm really bringing
Connect those dots.
all of anime I'm bringing together into this one, you know, cohesive understanding.
Yeah. Anime expert Luke, as we all know.
That's what I'm known for. Yeah.
Oh, and
Like,
apparently, I was telling Luke earlier that I'm reading the first few chapters of Hunter x Hunter,
mhm.
and so far, I I don't know how much of a spoiler it is for Hunter x Hunter, just for our listeners or whatever. But I'll
Mhm.
give y'all a second of warning. Um, Apparently, Gon, the main character, also has like a sicko mode or whatever you want to call it, rage
Sicko
mode,
mode. Travis
rage
Scott
mode.
mode.
Yeah, Travis Scott mode. He's got some kind of rage mode form that I haven't actually seen before, but I hear people mention it all the time. And so while I am not, I was telling Luke that what this made me think of when I was reading that first chapter is just how good that first chapter of My Hero is, and
Mhm.
how I didn't get a lot from the first chapter of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
I think that Gon is like an endearing kid or whatever, but like I'm not like enraptured by anything that has happened yet.
Maybe it's X mode.
Oh,
Maybe that's the X in Hunter X Hunter.
oh, you don't pronounce the X.
Why is it there then?
I think it means like I'm not super sure, because there's Spy Family, which is Spy X Family.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Spy X
supposed to just
Family is
be
the best.
or that the X is like a placeholder. It's just a cool symbol, really. Is what it
Can you
is.
believe they put a Spy X Family video game
In
in
the
the freaking Nintendo Direct? What are they doing?
It's a very beloved franchise, okay?
What's Nintendo doing right now?
That's what's making the big bucks, man. It's getting a movie.
Freaking they put out Tears of the Kingdom and just went like, well, that's all we can really do for this console.
It's an all ages console, like
Yeah.
they're appealing to an all ages demographic here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of.
Not a big fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you don't watch the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're like, man, this franchise that I don't enjoy is getting a video game, and I'm not interested in it. Well, it's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least they got Mario games coming out. That is cool.
they do. The Mario fans are eating well right now.
True.
Just so much, just
Paper Mario. Paper Mario's
feasting.
back.
Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, Mario Wonder, which is if Mario and Kirby had a baby.
It does kind of feel that way. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it. I don't know much more. I've only seen the first trailer for the Wonder.
And you're not watching any subsequent trailers.
Yeah, I'm not watching anymore. I don't want to know like what all animals or whatever he turns into or.
Oh sure, yeah, that's another example of an animal mode.
Okay, this is not on the same level as what I'm talking about, but but sure, yeah, many things turn into animals. Inuyasha. Demon mode.
Yeah, demon mode. There we go. There we go. Yep.
This is I don't know. It's an interesting thing. We don't know, or I guess I don't know presently.
Yes.
If this is actually what they're introducing into My Hero Academia as some sort of rage mode.
Yeah, I'm just having fun hearing you speculate here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they do introduce a rage mode, it's kind of weird to introduce it this far into the show. That was one thing I was thinking about. All these shows pretty much establish their rage mode pretty early on.
Very true.
It's all very central to like Inuyasha and Goku and all these characters. It's very like essential to their character that they have this like weird abnormality that they can't really do anything about it. Sometimes they just bug out,
Right.
Even Avatar, the Avatar state was kind of, at least within the first book they introduced.
It was like within the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't
very early.
It's been a while.
Very early.
So it would be kind of weird to introduce a
rage mode this far.
I guess my synopsis right now about my feelings on My Hero Academia do kind of run the gamut of like sure is weird how late they're introducing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like a lot of this stuff is like in-game things, but it's also again, it's like I'm almost kind of the opinion that I'm like I almost wanted there to be more of this show. Like I'm cool with how this is wrapping up, but I think it could have been an even slower burn if I'm being honest.
Sure.
But I also understand Horikoshi's been at this for 10 years now and is dying all the time.
Things gotta end,
He does an author's comment every chapter of that comes in Shonen Jump. All the authors make a comment
Mhm.
about the chat. It's sometimes about the chapter, sometimes it's just like I took a walk in the park the other day and that was nice.
Mhm.
But a lot of Horikoshis are sorry for the rush chapter, are sorry that this wasn't as many pages as I wanted it to be, or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's just like, no, Horikoshi, you're okay. Take care of these.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that is sort of the vibe I've been getting from My Hero Academia recently within
Mhm,
this
mhm.
kind of last season or so. It's just like, yeah, man, feels like we're introducing a lot of major stuff kind of late in the game, which I mean
I can
isn't
kind
the
of,
worst.
yeah, but I
Not,
kind of agree. We could have. I can see where we could have maybe introduced the multiple quirk thing a little earlier.
yeah,
Um,
that feels particularly wild
yeah.
to bring up. Like to have that concept work, you don't even have to like you don't even necessarily have to give him multiple quirks super early,
Hmm.
but
You can just
just
hint at it at the very least.
right. Well, that's the basis of Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Is like from day one that this guy is going to master all four elements,
Hmm.
but it takes 4 seasons to get there.
Right, right. True.
So it's like it just feels that's maybe the biggest criticism I could have of like the Spider-Man thing
Hmm.
is it's just like if you could tee me up a little sooner,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that we're going to be
Yeah.
changing Deku into Spider-Man, I might have a little more time to get on board with it.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's kind of going back and forth between whether or not it's like, do I want this to be surprising or not,
Hmm.
Because like I said, I think he wanted this from the beginning with the whole, him seeing the visions of the vestiges and all
Hmm.
that all the way back in season 2. So I'm kind of like, oh, he's been wanting to do this.
Hmm.
And again, it is also a surprise. I think that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Um, and perhaps again, if we had slow burned even longer, which I know that you're like, please
Yeah.
wrap this up, and I'm like, oh, but what if we meandered more? Wouldn't
Well,
that be great?
it's
Uh,
not. So it's not even necessarily about like pure length, right?
uh-huh.
It's like the show could have been this long and still if that was what he wanted to do from ground one, you know, maybe there were could have been ways to incorporate some of these ideas a little earlier in more fetal stages, I guess.
Oh,
Because
sure, yeah.
my I guess my issue ends up being that it feels like we were building a very particular kind of show.
Hmm.
And now, as we get closer to the end of the show, it feels like it's diverting a little bit, diverting into a cool and interesting direction that
Uh-huh.
I'm not mad about
Yeah.
necessarily, but it feels at times different than sort of what I thought we were setting up, maybe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I mean, it does feel like it has taken a turn. Um,
It's like
but
if
yeah,
some at some point during Avatar: The Last Airbender, like somewhere in the fifth or the fourth season or whatever, the last
they only
season
had 3. Yeah.
they only had 3. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I was associating one season with each element, but
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
anyway, it'd be like if like halfway through the third season they were like, by the way, the Avatar, you've mastered your elements and that's awesome. We've been setting up on that. You also get a mech with that.
Uh-huh.
There's also a mech that you learn how to summon once you yeah, we didn't tell you about it before, but now that you've mastered all
Yeah.
the elements, you can summon a mech. And
Huh.
this is going to be a mech fighting show
Uh-huh.
now.
Hmm.
It's like it's not that drastic of a change, but it feels akin to a change that is like substantial.
Oh, sure. Well, but and I'm kind of like on the side of I think it's good to shake things up 10
Hmm.
years into the series,
Right. But then that kind of just leaves me with questions about the formula of anime and sort of the length of anime in general with some of these
Mhm.
like weekly runs and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, because in my, very much minimalist school of thinking when it comes to like writing and story ideas, I think to be able to carry out a really succinct idea in a pretty timely fashion is the best. I
Mhm.
like other things, I like some things that go on for a while, and I like some
Yeah.
things that are episodic and blah blah blah. But like storytelling wise, I think like the best approach is to have a really solid and coherent idea and sort of flesh that out within the space that is necessary for it. Don't
Sure.
go
Yeah.
over, don't go under. And so with these kinds of shows, you kind of bring up this aspect of like, well, they've been doing this for 10 years, so it's like we got to switch things up.
Right.
And it's like I can understand and appreciate that for the form that it is, but to me that just sort of uh, points to maybe a weakness of the form, which is that it goes on so long that there has to be drastic changes to keep things fun, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm I probably complain more than people.
Yeah.
People might not think that someone complaining this hard about a thing likes the thing, but I do like I do
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
watching
Well,
these
I mean,
episodes.
it's fun to be critical of things sometimes,
Yeah,
and yeah, yeah. Well, and it is interesting to hear your perspective on this because I in a lot of Twitter circles and stuff. I'm following a lot of like One Piece fans, and we're all like in it for the long haul,
yeah.
man.
See, I'm just so as much as I'll enjoy some things that are anime, like I like Evangelion, and
Hmm.
I like to hear about the good, like the great anime that people really love, and then I'll
Oh,
maybe
sure.
check that out. I'm kind of
Yeah.
that way with a lot of things. I don't really watch, besides maybe YouTube videos. There's not a lot in
Yeah, but
my
like TV shows and all that, you kind of put off things until you hear,
yeah,
"Oh, Breaking Bad's one of the greatest things ever like made," or whatever, and you go, "Okay, cool, yeah, then I'll watch it."
yeah,
You know?
exactly. I'm not, I've rarely been the kind to track along with the thing,
Oh, sure.
and so it's like watching this in particular. I'm just so not anime, you know?
Mhm.
I'm just so not an anime boy, and so
Yeah.
examining anime is kinda fun.
Oh, yeah, yeah, well, I mean, again, you kind of I'm coming from, y you know, when I spend time on the internet, it's mostly people talking about like anime and stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm getting a different perspective here. And
Mhm.
people who are like listening to anime podcasts, if there if there's anybody actually listening to us,
Yeah,
um, are probably, listening to like the Trash Taste podcast or, whatever other big anime podcast of people who do nothing but watch anime.
yeah.
So, you're getting some interesting perspective in here.
This is what I provide.
Yeah.
Somebody send me some fan mail, you know?
Yeah. We did get a real comment again,
Oh, we did?
but it was yeah. Do you want me to read it?
Was it mean?
It wasn't mean, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It
Hit
was
me
a
with
real
it.
comment, but it also kind of felt like, I don't know if this person watched the episode or not. But let me see.
That's the dream.
Yeah, I was listening to some YouTubers on a podcast talk about how they wish there's some kind of thing that indicated how long the commenter had been watching the video.
That'd be
Because
great.
sometimes they'll comment something that makes it really obvious that they just straight up didn't watch the video.
Mhm. Wow, we got a bump in somebody, like 31 views on episode 8 and 9.
Yeah, that's the one that there's a comment on.
Oh, wow.
So this is from
They bumped us in
Watch.
the algo.
Yep. This is from Watch Forever 1724, who I saw in another comment section of a YouTube short I was watching. I was like, oh wow, that's you. Oh, man. Surprised you guys never caught up to the series before. I'm a huge fan of My Hero Academia. I definitely think season 6 was a good season, especially on how it ended. It's like, and not to rag on you too much. Watch Forever 1724. I don't know what that had anything to do with the episode we made.
Yeah,
It's like, well, of course we haven't caught up. We're still watching it, and we won't be making a podcast about it.
I really love this description, though. Luke and Jay discuss Endeavor's parenting and how everyone in this show is just built different.
Yeah, I usually try and capture whatever tangents we're going to talk about rather than what the episode's actually about.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Which one's the episode where I just go on about Endeavor building a house with his bare hands?
That's gonna be like, I haven't edited that one yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not out yet.
Because that's
going in the episode description. Absolutely,
that's a beaut.
I'm editing the one right now where I think we talk about Two-Faced for like way too long.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I gotten my shipment in.
You got your shipment in, and that episode's only like 30 minutes. Like, no. we got in and out with that one because we had been on break for a very long time and had not talked in a while.
Yeah, well,
so we hadn't gotten back into the groove.
Sure.
But speaking of getting back into the groove, gonna wind this all back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So the rest of that episode, beyond Deku's description of like, again, like I said, it was interesting, the whole summary being from the perspective of like, what was the report about? And so like the Hero Commission is covering up the fact that there were, a bunch of children fighting out there. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh no, work study students. I don't even know what a work study is.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
And then just sort of with that perspective, they were really selling the narrative of like losing faith in heroes.
Yeah, and so we get that All Might statue.
You are not
I am not here. Yeah. So people feel kind of failed on, despite the fact that we know as the audience that this was like a huge concentrated and coordinated effort by a lot of different heroes to get together and do this, because they were trying very hard for all this to not happen. Although it did, but but the public is just not seeing it that way. They're seeing it as a huge failure because they did take a lot of L's, They all made it out alive, but a lot of them barely, and then a lot of people did die.
It's like, I was not expecting, especially, I felt a little disarmed in the beginning by the sort of the recap nature of it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're just doing a recap episode, Okay.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like,
all of a sudden we got
actually doing real information.
Freaking like weeping and crying over Midnight's dead corpse, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well,
yeah.
I wasn't
ready for that. I was also
when
I was watching the episode last night. Before it got to the commercial break, I was like, oh, I might text Luke and let him know that this is a recap, which he might need it or whatever, a refresher. But I also might tell him we might skip this one and just watch the third episode so that we have, we can just do this will be where the 3 episodes are, and then we can do 2 and 2 and 2 or whatever. But
this one had a lot.
This was substantial. So when I got to the second half, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna tell him to do that. No.
Well, and then like we had Uraka sort of, heroing, and like this, I thought I was just like, because of, I can't remember if this was before or after Midnight being revealed as dead or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there's the scene with like the brother is stuck under the rock and
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
little
yeah.
sister's trying to get him out. I'm like, oh my god, are they just trying to like? They're trying to like just kill puppies in front of me this episode, and really.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think that was after. I'll have to.
Yeah, so I was like,
yeah.
for some reason, I was just sitting here like, oh, cool. So this is the part of the episode where they make me watch a little sister cry over her dying brother, you
Brother.
know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
holy
it's like,
crap.
no, Uraka got him. It's fine.
My god. And then,
Yeah.
like, to see Uraka, I was thinking it was weird. It was a weird emotional roller coaster because it was like you see Uraka sort of, to me, and embodying some of what we talked about last episode, where we kind of talked about what was her motivations and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and it was a real like test of metal for that. So it was really cool seeing her, jump into action, and she's saving people and going left and right and saving, just doing
Yeah, yeah.
everything she can. I was like, wow, look, a little moment of hope. And then, she sees this guy
Uh-huh.
just freaking like, I was surprised the dude didn't pull out a gun and just end it right there. I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap,
Oh,
we're
man.
going
I love that
2003,
moment.
freaking Fullmetal 2003 up in here, man. It's like
Oh, yeah.
everyone's sad,
Yeah.
everyone's despondent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, the OP really sets the stage for all this.
Did.
Yeah, I remember getting to that moment in the manga and just being like, oh man, wow. With the
Yeah.
I quit, I'm done, I can't be a hero anymore.
Yeah, it's just like this feels like weirdly like I realize the stakes here. I realize that Shigaraki is super powerful now, and like,
Uh-huh.
I realize we're in dire straits, but this feels like the episode after like New York got nuked or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This feels like
I mean, that is essentially kind of what
this is like
happened with
they're
Gigantomachia.
they're treating this like the New York incident from the Avengers movies,
Well, I
where it's
mean,
like
it kind of is that Gigantomachia went stepping through everything and all that,
that,
you know?
and that is fair. Gigantomachia is scarier maybe than what we've seen before, I guess.
Yeah,
And a lot of property damage was done and all that, and then I guess people lost their lives and stuff. But it's like,
yeah.
10 episodes from now, are we gonna get the storyline where Deku becomes an alcoholic because he keeps having PTSD flashbacks to when Bakugo got stabbed? Like, what's happening here?
Uh-huh.
Like, holy crap, man.
Don't see that happen.
It just feels like a real tone switch.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're in the ending of the second act, you know? It's
Yeah.
the we're all
I just
hope is
I just
lost.
don't know if I've seen anime or really anything tone switch like this hard,
Mhm.
especially like in a show
Yeah,
format. Like you can
yeah,
you
yeah.
can kind of do tone switches in like
Movies.
movies that kind of feel geared towards that.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Huh.
you can have
Yeah.
you can have a sort of thing like I think about like the scene from Barbarian where the first part of the movie was kind of this like tense two people trapped in a house together kind of situation, and you don't know
Mhm.
who's good or who's bad. And then when
It's
they
that guy listening to
yeah
music.
yeah so when they cut to Justin Long or whatever freaking
Justin Long, yeah, yeah.
yes, singing in his car, and you go like, what's happening?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, you can
Yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
kind of do that and have it be an interesting effect in movies in
Mhm.
particular. But I don't know if I've ever seen a show like go from, like I was thinking about watching Princess Mononoke
Uh-huh.
and being slightly like jarred a little bit by like them cutting arms off and stuff in that
Oh,
movie.
sure, yeah.
But they sort of established early on that it would be kind of gory, that there would be a little bit of
Yeah, it gets violent from, like, the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, in something like Naruto, right, you know, sometimes that show got a little more violent or less violent depending on, like, the episode.
Oh, sure.
But I feel like they did a pretty good job establishing that with, like, the, Naruto's teacher taking a giant ninja star to the back in,
Right.
like, the first, like, 3 or 4 episodes trying to save him or whatever, and there was blood and stuff, and so it
Oh,
was kind
sure.
of, like, early on indicating that there would be maybe some darker elements present in this show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll argue that, like,
Mhm.
the overhaul stuff got kind of dark.
Yeah, when, when Night Eye or whatever, what is that his name? Night Eye? Nightwing?
Night Eye.
Night Eye, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Night
when
Eye, him getting stabbed in the gut, and
hey,
well, just
Night Eye got obliterated
he did. He did get
and
obliterated.
somehow lived without the way he's drawn, without any of his internal organs. They
Sure.
were all gone.
Yeah.
And he
Future.
survived long enough
It's
to,
the
like,
future.
tell a million or whatever that he loves them or something, I can't remember.
He told him, I can see that you have a bright future.
Yeah, and it's just like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
That guy should have been dead.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm saying
Yeah.
like that in like the existence of Eri, like
Yeah.
in all the like experimentation on her and all that. It's very Nina from Fullmetal Alchemist, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. I won't say that, like, I'm not trying to say that this show was like SpongeBob and then
Yeah.
like all of a sudden we got into the dark and gritty.
Uh-huh.
But there was a noticeable uptick.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like this was
Geared up.
like this did feel like we noticeably changed flavors here a little bit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Which again, you know, it'll be interesting to see how I feel once it's all said and done, and you know.
Yeah, like that is a fun thing about like retrospect is when it's all over, you can kind of I can't wait to look at all this when it's done, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it's like I want that one day for One Piece, who knows, but I have to just kind of be satisfied with whenever an arc is over, I can go back and see the full picture. But yeah.
Yeah. But it never feels quite right to me when it's just like arc to arc, right? It's like we're still supposed to be building towards something. And
sure.
Once you build towards that thing and finally achieve that thing, and you know everything is taken care of, you know, everything is recontextualized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, it's not the episode that I expected.
Oh, sure.
Let me tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think the only thing I didn't remember about this was Compress's backstory, but everything else here I remembered being pretty striking to me the first time I read it.
Real hardcore. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like Compress's thing is almost like overshadowed by
everything else, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it is funny because he's like, you know what? I am a side character, and I have to accept that. And then he's doing his big, you know, I'm gonna do my final act here and make myself disappear, and then Mirio just punches him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're not.
They took everything from that man.
They did. I mean, he even gouged out his own flesh and made it into little marbles. And oh my gosh, that was gross. Love it.
He was like destroying himself.
Oh yeah, when he's like, he is in it for the cause, you know. Yeah.
I suppose so. Good lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of the cause, Redestro. He had a clone. The last clone he can ever have, I guess, because Twice is gone.
Yeah, you know.
And the safety commission was like,
about it. especially with Twice being able to replicate other people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They made a real Hawks made a clutch move killing that guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That
that's why he
that's a
killed him.
clutch
He would
move.
have not killed he I don't think if Twice had a less valuable power, he absolutely wouldn't have killed him, you know?
Yeah.
But Cox is kind of like, eek, I guess I'm in a corner here. This guy won't listen to me, and
Mm,
he's gonna kill all of us.
yeah.
I'm having to make a move here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of those, what do you do?
Yeah.
Trolley problem. Yay.
True. True. Yeah, it's like
So, yeah.
Redestro. Redestro has been such a non-villain to me, though.
He hasn't been doing a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just been kind of a side piece, you know.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, we got rid of his only clone. I guess that was the only clone. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
got rid of his clone because the commission was, like, doing a setup, little
Mhm.
sting operation. They were ready to kill him.
Mm. Yeah.
Commission. They're ready to kill.
Yeah. So I suppose we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yep. Yup.
My God.
Yeah. Good stuff. And I guess we talked about the OP enough. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about with the OP.
I'm just mad. I'm just mad about the bunny.
It's bad about the bunny, man.
Yeah.
Joyless.
Yeah. I mean,
Joyless.
well, especially because he was looking so cool with that scarf and
Uh-huh.
that, he was flying around like he was going to be,
Uh-huh.
he was leading everyone to the promised land or something kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Uh-huh.
And then he puts on that stupid helmet, that stupid cowl, bunny ears. Why?
Uh, and then we get the ED, which is a kind of well, I noticed when watching it this time around, I was like, oh, okay, it's the story thus far, but with a focus on like friends and stuff instead of like,
Mm,
oh, they're not highlighting him like fighting like Overhaul or anything, or this is a highlight
yeah,
of friends and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
friend moments.
that was nice.
Yeah. And so, yeah, another running cycle, but this is how you do a running cycle, right? You kind of change it up
Mhm.
each time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do like that. I do like that the OP kept the sort of comic booky style.
Yeah, I really like the thick lines of the OP. Yeah,
Mm,
very, very stylistic. Um,
yeah.
in comparison to like the rest of the show. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I like that a lot. Kept it comic book.
Sorry, I just had a flash of Mineta crying, and I remembered that like taking me out of the scene so hard.
Oh yeah, Vanetta always takes me out of this freaking show. It's like you don't have to be here. We don't need you.
I was just like, I was waiting for Mineta to say something weird about Midnight being dead.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of the sword of Damocles over the entire show. You're just like,
Yeah,
how are you gonna ruin this?
yeah. You're
Yeah,
gonna say something dumb, Mineta.
yeah,
But yeah, it was
uh,
very
yeah.
bizarre. Just to have this like really serious moment happening, and then Mineta shows up and is trying to actively partake in it. And I'm just like, this is weird.
And it's like you have not built up enough good graces or brownie points for anybody to care about you being here.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah. Well, I guess the next thing that is up is that the new mission of the League of Villains right now is to go get All for One's body,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
I
so that's
guess.
what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
Tartarus.
yeah.
Next
I don't
episode,
really know
thing.
what's gonna. go down with that. I want to know what's happening with the heroes personally. Like, why does Deku put that stupid hood on? You know?
We're gonna find out, Luke. It's fine.
Okay. I gotta know.
And I mean, I don't know if it's all that. It's interesting that you're like, oh, why does he do that? But I don't think I've ever asked like why.
Jay, that's all I do is ask why.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, we'll get there. And I don't know if it's that substantial of an answer, but we'll get there.
I may have made a mountain out of a molehill.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
See what happens.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was trying to remember what Tartarus was in terms of Greek mythology. That's what I was looking up just now.
I remember it from Persona 3. Tartarus is the it's the dungeon that you crawl at night.
Yeah. So in Greek mythology, I'm just gonna read this off of Wikipedia, is the deep abyss that is used as a dungeon of torment and suffering for the wicked and as a prison for the Titans.
Nice.
Says a underworld thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, so they're like, let's be real aesthetic and cool and name our supervillain prison Tartarus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense,
It's on theme, but I don't know, it'd just be like if we named a prison hell, like here in America or something. It's just hell.
This is anime,
Yeah.
This is anime,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Anime and video games and movies and things like this kind of get a pass.
Oh, sure, yeah. It would just be extremely funny. So you're just going to hell. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, if that is all we have to say, how long have we been recording? Because I feel like this has been a thorough episode.
Yeah. We got like a good hour.
Yeah, it's been an hour. Yeah, a little over an hour.
I feel like our best episodes are probably edited down to like the 40-minute mark, right? Something like that.
Actually, I mean, I don't cut a lot.
Okay, well,
I mostly just cut out I'm gonna have to cut out a lot of coughing this episode, but
true.
Which is okay.
But that'll just be on my channel, right?
Exactly, yeah. But I only cut out like really long pauses. And
that's true. I'm seeing we have some hour 16 episodes here.
We do, because sometimes we get to talking, man.
Get into the weeds, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that, our endeavor builds a house episode's like over an hour.
Probably.
maybe I'll have to go back and look.
I thought that's what he was saying, and I stick by it. I really want to believe.
I mean, it would be manly. It would be cool. I am pro Endeavor should build that house with his two bare hands.
I just want to believe he did,
But because in these coming chapters, in these coming episodes, not that much time passes. Yeah. That house still isn't built yet. He could do it.
That's true. And it's like he's got fire powers, so he could even make a nice brick house, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He could smelt something, it's like
do something creative with his work.
I think so. If anyone could do it, he could,
Yeah. We're all rooting for you, Endeavor.
I'll build us a house.
That house.
I believe.
Yeah. Like with us, I'm probably gonna cut this because it's just like a thing I want to tell you. One time I was editing an episode, and I needed to move something somewhere else. Like I think it was probably an I'm Luke or something that I needed to just place in from another episode. And I'd done it wrong, so our tracks were off. But what I thought for a little while there was, man, Luke and I are just talking just right over each other, just bulldozing each other this episode. Neither of us are even stopping or going, oh, what was that? Like none of that. We're just going through it. And I was like, oh, it's because the tracks are off, not because we're talking over each other like just that much. I was like, what was into us that day?
Nice.
We're just not listening to each other.
I like that. I like the inside baseball,
Oh yeah, I'll probably cut that and paste it at like the post outro music.
Yeah. Yeah, one of these days we gotta I lost it.
One of these days we gotta
Oh my god. Oh yeah, if we ever start a Patreon, you gotta save that stuff for the paid subscribers,
Oh sure, yeah.
Gotta
talk
inside baseball.
Oh sure. I mean, I leave a lot of that in sometimes. Yeah, it depends.
Right. Well, you gotta get them wanting it first.
Oh sure.
That's when we.
Well, no, they gotta get a taste of it, and then we say, "Now, this episode, I cut out a ton of inside baseball. Y'all don't get to hear it unless you pay me."
Yeah, unless you subscribe. Yeah,
get a little extra $5 in my pockets every month.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening to We Have Fun Here. Join us next time as we watch My Hero Academia Season 6, Episodes 15 and 16. See you then.
Goodbye.